Good morning, everyone, and thanks for taking the time to join us for our Zealed webinar series, Keep Calm and Get Digital. My name is Lisa, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. New Zealand and the world are continuing to adapt and grow a digital-first mindset, which is bringing to light other trends and awarenesses, one of these being flash sales. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term, think Black Friday and Cyber Monday or Valentine's Day. Today, our topic, email marketing for flash sales, will provide you with an understanding of what a flash sale is and how to use email marketing to support it. We are very excited today to have with us our speaker, James Kelly, one of Zeal's marketing specialists. James is very passionate when it comes to digital marketing and supporting small businesses, so much so that even sometimes he has dreams about AdWords strategies. His talent in this space is easily transferred into real results for the clients he works with, so I'm sure his presentation will give you some tips and tricks to try. Now, just a couple of quick housekeeping rules before I hand over. If it's your first time joining us, the format's pretty simple. We will have a presentation from James, and you can ask questions using the Q&A buttons in the Zoom setting area at any point. After the presentation is finished, we will have a questions section before wrapping up the webinar. If you can't currently hear me speaking, then you may need to look at your audio settings on the Zoom toolbar as well. And also, if you just want to have a chat with us as the panelists, you can do that using the chat buttons. And if you miss any of this or want to share it with anyone you know, we do record all of our webinars and have them available on our website and YouTube, and we will also send you a link to the recording. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I'd now like to invite James to guide us through email marketing for flash sales.
Morning, everyone. Lisa, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I'll just quickly open the presentation now. Once it actually wants to open, there we go. It's always the way. So yeah, so I'll just dive straight into it. So email marketing, well, for today, what we've got to be focusing on, first off, is just what is email marketing. It's going to be the first, kind of just to give you a bit of an introduction and a refresh on what it is, what it isn't. The next one is flash sales, so what they are as well. So the whole purpose to do a flash sale email marketing campaign is to make sure you have a flash sale. Things to remember before you start promoting the sales. So the last thing you want is to kind of start promoting, you know, something that 500 people want, but you've only got 100 things in stock, but everyone still orders 500 things. Some general rules and just what that looks like, stuff you need to think about when you're planning or when you're implementing a flash sale marketing campaign. Talking about subject lines. So they're probably one of the most critical things to get right within your marketing, email marketing, because without them, people may not open the email and they'll just sit there collecting what's known as digital dust in someone's inbox. Writing the body of the email. So again, also quite important. You want to make sure there's no spelling mistakes, and you know there is kind of a really clear call to action for people as they're reading through the email. Knowing what the results are is always the other thing. So you know you don't want to send an email out and just think, okay, I'm pretty sure it got results. You want to know what you're tracking, so then you can improve it later with A/B testing. And A/B testing is making sure that if you're changing one thing, you're knowing what you're changing and what results you're looking for. And if it doesn't work, then you can always do something else. So that's that. So we'll start off with just, and also if you see me looking this way, it's just because I've got two screens set up. So I'm not ignoring anything. So the first one, so email marketing is probably one of the most cost-effective marketing strategies around. Namely because you don't have to spend money trying to get in a broader audience and putting them into a digital marketing funnel to try and convert them into a sale, because you're using people, not using your email subscribers that you've already got who are already interested in your business and they're already a captured audience, and you're just trying to kind of turn those customers into further paying customers. So the other benefit of email marketing in general is that you are improving the long-term value of your customer database. So the other things you can do is increase brand awareness. So one of the things with email marketing is that while it is direct to people who have subscribed to your business, a lot of those people may also start forwarding your emails along. So don't just never think it's just for the people subscribing. There is always potential for that email to be forwarded. Converting prospects into customers. So especially if you're a service business, looking at email campaigns can be used to kind of convert someone who's just downloaded a free ebook or another bit of content and kind of start converting them to actually buying something. For product-based businesses, it's the same thing. You might just have people who haven't bought from you before and you just want to convert them into a paying customer. Encouraging repeat purchases. So that's one of the things with flash sales and why they're so effective is that you do get a past purchaser or even a subscriber to make that first purchase, but you can continue it on. You might even start having a kind of theme around your products that people who generally buy this will buy something else. If you ever buy anything off of Amazon, at the bottom where they've always got people who bought this also bought this, you can do the same thing with email marketing. Collecting feedback from customers, which is one of the lifebloods of anything you do with your business, is you want that feedback from your customer, regardless of if it's good or bad. Generally, the bad stuff is actually quite good to know, because then once you deal with it, everyone has a much more pleasurable experience. Position your brand as an authority in your industry. So I know we've all received emails before in the past of kind of blogs and 10 tips to do something that's related to you or could be related to someone else you know. So you can use it for content marketing if you've got a blog or anything else you use, and increasing traffic to your website. So a lot of email marketing you'll see, and everyone should include this as a call to action, which could be something that, go to your website to read something, go to your website to purchase something as well. Obviously, flash sale, that's going to be the main point of what you're trying to do. But increasing that traffic means that you can then put them into retargeting funnels or other digital marketing tactics later on. And of course, the last one and what we're talking about today is promoting flash sales and discounts. So, flash sales. So, in a nutshell, they're heavily discounted, or not heavily discounted, but they're quick fire sales that where you're trying to move stock or get something else done. So it's not just limited to, well, when I say this, so it's not just limited to one discount. You don't have to always apply, people are just going to buy this thing because it's 20% off. There's also the other on sales that you have within a flash sale. I know, a common thing is with supermarkets when they've got things on special. You might just go in there, or you might think, okay, cool, they've got, 3 blocks of chocolate for $5, which is great. But then you're also most likely going to buy something else on the full price that you weren't thinking about before. So it's the same principle within a flash sale. You'll have your main attraction and then the following items that people may want to purchase. So yeah, one of the things is it capitalizes on the fear of missing out. So a lot of people, when they're told, the special is only available for 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, is it makes them quickly start thinking, do they want to buy something? It's especially useful if people have been looking at one single product for quite a while, and you've got a whole collection of people kind of looking at the product. It's a popular product, but no one's converting and no one's purchasing the product. You can kind of start promoting that and kind of kickstart them into making that action. Often only lasts for a few hours to 36 hours, and that's the urgency behind it, and also scarcity, that if they don't buy it now on discount, they're not going to be able to get it again for a while. Briscoe's is always really good at this. Whenever they've got a sale on, I know that at the moment, as I'm putting together my gift registry for my wedding, I know that coming up, they're going to have discounts, people are going to buy it. But when you're looking at, a 50% discount on a cast iron pan, you're going to grab that when it's on discount. Massive deals of discounts, like I said before, 50% off, 20% off. If it's on a high value item, people are more likely to purchase, straight away. If it's a big discount on a low value item, so if it's, only a $10 product, that everyone's kind of really easy, it's really easy to purchase anyway, you're not going to have that kind of same level of impact. And usually happens during holidays. So, like Lisa said before, Black Friday. Christmas, Valentine's Day, that's coming up, this weekend. So lots of florists and everyone else have got their flash sales on already. Maybe not on the dozen red roses people buy, but on the other flowers as well, because they know everyone's going to buy red roses. It's quite common, but they've got all these other flowers and chocolates and other things you can buy. So again, focus. The other reason they're done is to focus on capturing those impulse buys. And I know that's something we've all been guilty of before in the past. We see something on special and that's the first thing we buy. We didn't kind of start the day thinking we're going to buy it, but the special's there and it's too good to pass up. Clear stock on hand that's out of season or has just been sitting in storerooms for too long. So I mean, that's one of the things, especially if you talk to any accountant, they don't like kind of stock sitting in warehouse and just sitting there kind of collecting dust, because it's taking up space on the balance sheet as well. So if you've had stock sitting there for 3 months, 6 months, you can't move it, you can use a flash sale to start getting it out the door. And that's also a good way if you're testing new products in your store or even new services to see what happens. Having that flash sale can move them quite quickly. You can get product feedback or other options. Increase short-term sales. So one thing you don't want to do with flash sales is, make it quite a consistent theme across your business that, every 6 weeks a certain product is going to be on special, because it is only a short-term gain. You do want to build it up and stick to your general marketing strategy of building up that long-term value of clients and customers, but also building up, your general revenue streams as well. Attract new customers. So again, if it's a good special or if it's a good product, people will share the news with others on social media. They'll share it they'll forward it on the email. It'll just be brought up as a dinner conversation or when people are having coffee, that you should get this product. It's really cool. They've got a 20% discount on, but it only lasts for another 12 hours. So again, hits that urgency. So in the past, companies have different rates of success, but there can be a 35% increase in transaction rates. They could be higher. It could be 100% if it's a really good discount and a really good product. Sometimes it may not be that much, depending on what your business is selling and what time of the year it is and what's happening. So again, when you look at results and everything, 35% may seem like a lot, but it's always dependent on your business and consumer behavior as well. So, but again, while that's a good goal to have, without the preparation and making sure that things are all planned in advance, it could fall over as well. So before you ever send out any type of flash sale, and especially with email marketing, is make sure you go through the plan of what you want to sell. The worst thing you could do is just decide on a Friday morning that you're going to offer something for sale over the weekend, give it a 50% discount and send it out without thinking through, okay, if we get, 300 orders over the weekend, what are we going to do? Can we actually send out 300 products? Or do we even have 300 products to send out? Because at that point, it then becomes another, not just a logistical nightmare, but a customer nightmare that you've got to email 200 customers and say, sorry, you couldn't get your product, so here's, you've got to offer either a refund or store credit or something else. But it's also good to have that clear business objective in mind. And that's the same with all marketing in general, but you need to know, okay, we're doing this because we want to sell X amount of products or we want to drive X amount of revenue growth for this reason. Identify what products you'll be putting on sale and how much. That's quite an important thing, because certain products are going to have certain levels of profit attached to them. So, you might have a 20% markup on, one product, and you might have an 80% markup on another product. And it's a lot easier to discount the 80% markup product as opposed to the 20% one, because you're not going to be giving away as much profit with 80% as you are for 20%. And promote products with high page views. So, but also low conversion rates. So like I said before, if you've got a certain product on your website that's getting viewed by 100 people a day, but only 2 people are converting, then you might try a flash sale just to see is that going to move the stock? Is it just a product that people buy when it's on special? And if that's the case, then you can also tie into your email marketing and flash sale marketing. What else can you sell and what else can you suggest people buy within that flash sale? So, you're increasing the transaction price per customer, and you're also increasing that long-term value. Next one. So again, like I said before, if you had 100 orders during this flash sale, how fast can it get sent out? Because the other thing is that people are buying online, delivery times, everything else. Like with Christmas, when a lot of these flash sales happen, what does that look like logistically to pack the item, get it into the postal service, and get it out to customers? So how are you going to how is that going to work? Do you need more staff? Sorry, do you need more staff on board that weekend? Do you need to get them to do overtime? Do you need to be sitting there and packing items at 11 o'clock at night? How does that work? Managing your inventory, so making sure you have enough products as well. Because like I said before, if you get 300 orders and you've only got 100 items, there's going to be 2/3 of your customers that you've got to email and offer a refund or a store credit or something else, because you will have that spike in consumer demand. And disappointing customers will rant on social media, and you will have lots of negative reviews around not being able to service an order. I'm not saying, all 200 may come back and say, okay, we didn't get our product, we don't like you anymore, but it does make it a lot easier if you know we've only got 100 to send out. Assess how the discounts can affect your profits. So one of the general rules is within email marketing is 20% of a 20% discount will capture people's attention. So if it's any less, people will think, I'll just wait till it's on a bit more of a discount, or I'll wait until Christmas, or they'll wait. If it's on 20%, you suddenly you've captured their attention, because people don't think they're going to be spending 20% less. They're thinking they're going to save 20% because they want the product. And again, from when I said before about your profit levels and your margins on products, pick the ones with the biggest margins on them, because then you're not impacting your profit level too much. You need to make sure you have the relevant disclaimers on your website as well. So you want to make sure if you've only got 100 products, you mention only the first 100 customers are there. You want to make sure the discounts on the website as well. So you don't want to, someone to say, oh, they've got a really good discount on this product, but you can only find it on your email marketing, on the email campaign you send out, or someone clicks from the email onto your website and the discount's not applied there, because then people will think, oh, it's not on discount, I'll go back, I'll leave, and they'll drop off the funnel. The other one is to simplify the path to purchase. So with roughly 60% of traffic to your website coming straight from a mobile device at the moment, you want to make sure that when you're sending out this email, test it yourself and make sure, if I was buying this on my phone, what does it look like? Is it a smooth process? Is it as streamlined as possible? Because if it is too complicated, people will just stop the purchase most of the way through, and that can impact up to 90% of your transactions at any one time. So it's also something that, conversion optimization is a really crucial thing, especially if you're an e-commerce store, but making sure it's smooth line. I can have the order done in as much time and as less time as possible within, maybe 5 taps or 5 clicks, whatever that looks like. And think about the upsells at checkout. So again, is there a complementary product? For example, if I was to buy a coffee grinder, one of the things I could sell and offer would be a collection of coffee beans. So know that instead of them buying a coffee grinder for $30 and I'm only going to make $3 on that coffee grinder, if they buy 1 or 2 or 3 packs of beans, I'm going to make $7 per pack of those coffee beans. So again, it's just increasing it and making sure when you do this, it's as worthwhile for your business as possible. Because it could be the difference between, $300 of profit versus $3,000 of profit. So general rules, don't set up a flash sale each week. So if that's what happens, all you'll accomplish is teaching your customers that we have a sale every week. You don't need to buy anything full price. So only use it sparingly. You can use it for holidays because that's generally accepted. Or you can just say, every 6 weeks we may do one, but it shouldn't be a weekly occurrence. It's quite different for the likes of larger chains like the Warehouse, where they've got kind of, various product categories and verticals and everything else where they can afford to have discounts on certain things. But certain times of the year they'll have everything on discount, and other times of the year will only be one thing like plants 1 week, or certain types of plants, or certain types of kids gear for summer and other items. Entice customers with a discount that makes sense for the item. I know when I get a few flash sale emails from other companies, it might be take 20% off 500 cable ties. And while I know some people want to buy 500 cable ties, to me 20% off a $5 item doesn't make much sense to me. So make sure it relates and it makes sense. And like I said, 5% off on a low value item just isn't going to help anyone kind of make that purchase transaction, especially if it's a $5 item. A smaller discount for more expensive items will work a lot better. So I mean, 10% off of a $100 product, I'm saving $10 from what I'd be looking at 10% off a $5 product is 50 cents. I'd much rather get the $10 off, even though I'm paying more, as opposed to 50 cents off something else. The next thing is you want to make sure you have a specific target market in mind for the sale. So one of the things with marketing, and something that happens quite often, is people start thinking that everyone is their target market, and the same thing applies for a flash sale. You don't want everyone as your target market, because certain things aren't going to be appropriate. It could be, say you're selling lingerie. That's not really going to be applicable to males in your audience. It'll be applicable to females, but if you send it to everyone, 50% of your, potentially 50% of your database, it's not going to be relevant for. Same as if you are offering, kids items or something else to people who don't have children. You need to make sure it matches the target market. And you can segment that based on your customer database and what information you have available. Now, everyone's customer database is built differently. Some people like to use surveys to fill out as much information as possible, such as age, the family makeup, even income levels, and other items they know is directly relevant to their results. So always have a look at what data you have, and always have a look at what data you can put into your database, because it makes it easier to make these as effective as possible. And make sure your flash sale is reflected on your social media and your other digital platforms as well. So if anyone else was to see it, they know they can go there as well. And you're also changing one tactic of just an email marketing flash sale and just repurposing it across your different channels. And it's easier to find that information as well. Okay, so subject line. The most critical part of any email marketing campaign, and more so of a flash sale email marketing campaign. So this is going to be the first thing that people see on their phone, on their laptop, or anything else. And unfortunately, there's no silver bullet for what makes a great subject line. But you want to spend time on crafting it. So don't just kind of chuck something out there and just hope it works. Certain things work for certain people. I know I've done email marketing for a really creative audience once, full of graphic designers, artists, and other people. And what I found is that they didn't actually like creative subject lines. They liked really dull and boring subject lines. Whereas when I've done some for accountants in the past, who generally have that reputation of, just being number crunchers, they actually like the more creative subject lines as opposed to, boring and straight to the point ones. So have a think and have a test of what works and what doesn't work. Sometimes you will be surprised of what your audience actually responds to. Write it based on the offer and consumer behavior. So, one of the ways is scarcity. So this product, we've only got 100 products on sale with a 20% discount for the next 24 hours. So yeah, so scarcity right there. So how much stock, how long is the sale for? any other thing that can limit the time for someone to purchase can help kind of promote this. So 40% discount expires in 5 hours, and that itself could be a subject line as well. And as you'll see on the side there to the left of that, the examples there. So up to 65% off all sale. It's got limited time only as well. We're giving you 50% off your purchase in stores. Last minute, get a gift card. All of that stuff can work if it's just before a major holiday, such as Christmas, when people are forgetting, they don't know what to buy people, so offering a gift card is a great way. $8 sweaters today only. You know, you could do that just before winter starts, when people are looking through their wardrobe and figuring out that, okay, maybe that sweater from last year doesn't fit, or that sweater from last year has got too many holes in it now, I can't justify wearing it, or something else. Posing a question to get the customer to paint the rest of the picture. This is a good way because you're kind of going into more of consumer behavior and asking them something like, wouldn't you love to wear this on Valentine's Day? So, you know, it could be a sweater, it could be something else, but you're kind of painting that picture for the consumer when they're reading it to then think, actually, what would that look like? And you're starting the process of them to think about making that transaction straight away. There's being direct, so 40% off. Being direct is also a good way, if you can't think of anything, to just do it that way. So then people know when they're scrolling through their phones and they're getting 50, 60 emails a day, that's the thing they see that discount. Including personalization in the subject line, such as a subscriber's first name. So most of your email marketing platforms now will have the ability to put in the first name of who that subscriber is. Granted, you do have to record the first name of the subscriber. So if you can't do it, have a look and just double check that, you know, you don't just have their email address, because at that point, it doesn't matter. You'll just get this first name / your discount is waiting, and it'll just look like first name. And using emojis. So emojis is a way to quickly grab someone's attention, because if you look throughout your email inbox now, I can guarantee a majority of the subject lines have no emojis in them whatsoever, and it's just a sea of text. You put a picture in it, and people will suddenly take the attention and actually read the subject line at least. And get creative. So include innuendos, include humor, include puns. They can work quite well. Always within, if you're using any humor or innuendos or anything else in any type of marketing, just make sure it can't be taken any way offensively, because that will end up having the reverse reaction and you'll just get a whole bunch of complaints. And then, you know, you're going to be spending a lot more time, as opposed to doing your flash sale, dealing with the customer complaints. So anything like that as well, just make sure you run past someone. So that's subject lines. The next one is the body content of the email. So focus the content of the email on the flash sale. Don't just kind of sit there and just write whatever you want. So you want that focus to be, if it's just 40% off, that's the focus. So you'll see on that picture there, it's a 40% off all makeup cleansers, and it's shop now. I know what I'm doing. If I click on that, I'm shopping for makeup removers, makeup cleansers, whatever it is. You want it featured prominently at the top. So there's something known as above the fold content. So for example, that's my phone there. I know that if I opened an email, the content I want to see is mainly there. I don't want to be looking down and having to scroll down, you know, a fair bit to see what the discount is or the offer is. But that's also the main purpose of your email. Same as on a desktop. Make sure on most screen sizes, you know, the main offer is right there, front and center. Last one is don't write a novel. The last thing anyone wants to get is a 1,000-word email, although I know we're all guilty of sending those in the past. But for your email marketing, you're not sending them, you know, the first chapter of your book you're trying to write or anything else. It's just purely, we have the sale on, come buy our items. That's it. Doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be more than a couple of sentences. Aim for scannability. So if I was looking at my phone while I'm waiting for a coffee, or if I'm in the kitchen just waiting for eggs to boil or whatever, I want to be able to quickly scan the email and get get the purpose of it quite quickly and know what I'm looking for. One way to do it, and this is a good way for anything you're doing in terms of content marketing as well, is the couch test. So basically, if I was sitting on the couch with my fiance at night and I was reading something on the news, I would turn to him and just say, oh, this is what happened today because this is what happened. And it would be a short, succinct sentence that summarizes that entire news article. Same thing with any email marketing, any flash sale email marketing. I want to be able to turn to someone and say, oh, the store X has got this product on special for 20% off until tomorrow. Should we buy it? If I can quickly turn around and say that just by scanning an email or spending a minute reading it, then I know it's really clear. And that's the practice you should take with your email marketing as well. So once you've written what you want to write, turn to someone and tell them what the email's about. Now, if you can't do that in kind of less than 20 words, then you know you haven't actually communicated what you meant to communicate. So you go back and just look away, don't read it, don't try to read it verbatim, but try to surmise it. And optimize for mobile. So, 60% of website traffic, 81% of emails are read by consumers on a mobile device. So you could sit there and a lot of people do fall into this trap, because if you're designing an email marketing campaign of any sort, you're generally doing that on your desktop. So it's quite easy just to preview on the desktop and forget about it on mobile. But realistically, 81% of people are going to be opening the campaign on their mobile device first off. So most email marketing software, you can do a preview on screen of what it will look like in mobile. But the other option then you need to do is actually send yourself a test email, because while it's good to get a first preview on a desktop, you're only going to really know what it looks like once it's on your mobile device. And it could be the pictures you've included are actually too big, so it takes a while for it to load. It could be that the picture's actually too long on your device that you can't see anything, or the text has been moved, or something else. So always test it before you send it out. Write clearly, so leave no room for misunderstanding. The last thing you want is for people to not actually know what the discount is, forgetting to put the discount in, or anything else. Make sure images are optimized on size, like I said before. You don't want to be sitting there and just seeing kind of this circle keep moving on your phone while you're waiting for this email to come in, because it's 5 megabytes and no other email can come in, and it's just starting to annoy people. It also take a while to send as well. Other one, get someone else to review the email before you send it out. So you are always your own worst proofreader. That's just what happens. I know when I write stuff, I miss spelling mistakes, I miss grammar mistakes. Every now and then I'll call the person the wrong name. Like Lisa, I call her Liza all the time. Like all of that stuff, you need to make sure there's someone else is checking it. Yeah, and there have been examples in the past where people have sent out the wrong discount. So instead of it being 10%, it could be 100% because someone's added an extra zero. You could be, offering something else that's got a decimal point, so 14.5% off, but you miss a decimal point, or you put it forward a bit and it's only 1.45% off, or something else like that. So double check it, because otherwise you've then got to resend that entire email, and then you're going to deal with customers who are, may have purchased something for a larger discount than what you intended to offer. The last and next one is talking about results. So all marketing and all digital marketing should have a set of results tied to it. So you don't just want to do anything and just think, okay, we've done it now, we don't need to check it again. Look at the results. So at a minimum, you want to know what the open rate is. So say if you send your email campaign to 1,000 people and 400 people open the email, then you've got an open rate of 40%. And you want to keep that, you want to keep those results recorded, because as you change things, as you communicate with your customers a bit more often, you'll see that open rate kind of fluctuate. So don't worry if it ever goes, it's 45% one week and 35% the other week. Doesn't really matter too much, but you'll build up that consistent view. the click-through rate. So when people actually click onto your email, open it, and then, what are they doing when they actually read the email rate? So, of those 400 people who open the email, maybe only 200 actually clicked on the main call to action. And then your conversion rate from that as well. So of the 200 people that clicked on the email and landed to your store, maybe only 100 people converted, which would be basically a 50% conversion rate of traffic going to your site. But you want to know what that looks like to make sure the offer is actually something decent. If you get people clicking through and you know that, okay, only 1% of people converted, there might be a problem with your conversion pathway and other actions that you can start looking at and optimizing. And there are other items you can record depending on what your setup is like. So it could be abandoned carts. So how many people have gone to your website, chucked things into the cart online and just left it without paying for it. What's the transaction value per customer? Another really good thing to record if you can, because you can see, you may do a test of how many different products or what different products you want to upsell, and you can see what the difference is. So continuing on the theme of testing, A/B testing is a really crucial way to, or critical way for you to improve your email marketing results. So an A/B test is basically looking at changing one thing in your email campaigns. So it could be changing a subject line, it could be changing a discount, it could be changing the call to action test, but the purpose of it is you're just changing one thing, and you're making sure when you change that one thing, you're looking at what the results are. If you change too many things at once, it becomes known as a multivariate test, and they're a bit harder to kind of analyze what the results are. And you generally do that by having 4 different email flash sales going out with different products in each one, different subject lines, different discounts, and other things to see what works and what isn't working. But you've got to have that really clear, clear option. So I mean, at the start, just test one thing. So one of the easy ones is subject lines to increase open rates. So you could start with posing a question, using some more creative freedom on how you craft your subject lines, using humor, using personalization, anything you can think of for a subject line, just test it, see what works. But also make sure you record what you're changing. Don't just kind of record what the final output looks like. Have the test. So, using humor in the subject line, did it work? Did it increase it from what you're doing last time? Or did it decrease it? What's your hypothesis? How does that all work? Different calls to action in the email to increase click-through rates. So one of the common ones obviously is shop now, which works, just telling people to shop right now. This is where they click, people know what that means. But you could try something different of get your discount now or something else, just testing different things to try and promote those click-through rates. And that's it. So are there any questions?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that, James. There certainly was a lot that you've covered off, and I think it's really good that you've broken it right down as well. I'm sure lots of people would have taken at least a couple of things away from that. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, please use the chat or the Q&A system and I'll be able to ask. First of all, Belinda, can we download the recording? Yes, after this, we will be sending out a link to the recording, as well as it will be in our webinar library and on YouTube as well. So we will be sending you that. And also we have started sending our actual presentations out as a PDF as well. So you'll actually be able to, if you need a certain slide, be able to get the detail from that. Cool. And from Jason, do you have any tips, James, for improving email deliverability? And do you have any ways to measure deliverability? So email landing in the main inbox folder rather than a promo folder or junk folder.
So a lot of that is going to depend on a few factors. So one of the biggest ones is the domain trust of your business domain. So sometimes new domains, especially with Google, they are more likely to end up in someone's spam folder. So long as your domain hasn't been reported as too spammy or anything else in the past, that helps significantly. Making sure it's really clear as well. So what the offer is, what you're sending out. People don't just mark it as spam. That's the other thing. The more people that mark it as spam, the more likely it is to decrease deliverability. Also, when people sign up for your email, that's one of the best ways is to make sure they mark you as not junk when it goes in. So that should be a really strong call to action from the start.
Oh, and another question is any platform to use for email marketing? They use HubSpot. Do you have any other recommendations?
Okay. I mean, it depends. Again, there are countless email marketing pieces of software out there. It really depends on your purpose for why you use it for your business. So I mean, HubSpot has email marketing. It's also a CRM system as well. It has integrations with other marketing items. So it depends on how big you're using it, what you're using it for. Stuff like MailChimp is really good if you're just starting out with email marketing. And of course, Zealed, we have our own email marketing product as well, which is just as good as any other one, if not better. Just a slight plug there. But it really relates to actually going through, just doing a Google search of what email software can I use. There are some great reviews online. If you haven't done anything before, use something quite basic at the start and just get it started. If you're in kind of a B2B environment and you're doing lead nurturing campaigns, you could be looking at something. One of my favorite ones in a B2B environment is something called Jump Lead. And that's because once someone goes to your website from an email marketing campaign, I can actually, and whenever they go to your website, you can actually track and see what pages they view at any one time. So for a B2B way, it means you can kind of craft better content more suited to them. So it depends on what you're trying to do, really.
Definitely, and I agree with you there, James. I think you have your email marketing platforms or systems, such as you've got an inbuilt one in Zest, you've got an inbuilt one in Shopify, etc., which just cover off probably the basics of what you need to do, be able to put an email together and send it to your database, but then you can go quite advanced where you're starting to look at Klaviyo and some other platforms that actually have marketing automation. So you're actually moving into a more advanced space as well. So I think for, like you touched on, for anyone who's looking at that, you're actually going to need to sit down and work out what do I need from it, and then we'll look at a platform that will best suit that as well. I think the good thing about inbuilt ones in your website is that then the database is there and you're capturing it there. You're not having to make sure it's integrated with something else as well. So again, seeing what your business actually needs is a good starting point there.
Exactly. And I mean, just from when you mentioned about the database one as well, pay special attention to what data is recorded and what isn't recorded. Because you might find when you're segmenting out your database, some information you might have their first name and their last name, but you might have you might be able to record their date of birth as well. And having their date of birth, you could give like a birthday special to everyone that year at that time, and that becomes an automated campaign. Or finding out if they're married or in a relationship or anything else. So to promote other partner-based specials or something else like that. So yeah, don't just look at the usability, but also look at that data capture is critical.
Definitely agree with you there. Just another sort of question that I had is, what happens if I don't have a large customer base? So I know quite a lot of smaller businesses maybe haven't tried this yet and so don't have as many customers. Is it still worth sending emails to them to promote flash sales?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, email marketing isn't just for your current subscribers, it's also for potential subscribers. Especially with flash sale marketing, it has more of a chance to be forwarded on to other people of interest. And you could actually include that, say, in your flash sale, if you've got voucher capability within your email marketing software, or just a call to action to forward this to your friends. So, I mean, if you've got a really good discount and say you've only got a database of 50 people, you could ask them to forward it on to people they know. And even if you only get like, maybe another 10 subscribers, that's still 10 more than what you had last time. So it is, if you do have a small one, it is a slow growth way of doing it. But that's why you want to share all the information on social media pages, on your website, and other items, because the more touch points you have, the better it is.
Awesome, thanks for that. And another one as well, I mean, you did touch on service businesses through your presentation, but often I guess a lot of people think flash sales or sales, they think products, they think people who are selling online. So if you aren't selling products online, do you have a couple of ideas of how a service business could use this that you could share?
Yep. So one of the ways, so service businesses and I mean, digital marketing in general, a lot of the stuff can be around content. So it could be, we've got this, for example, this great webinar on email marketing coming up in the next 3 days. Book your spot now, or we've got this free thing you can download or something else. So you don't have to just offer something for special, offer something with a discount. It can be free, and it could be just available for 72 hours just to get people clicking and people engaging. So it's not, well, with a flash sale, it is about getting people to purchase, and that B2B service-based side. It's also about getting them to be engaged in your brand and other things. And in that B2B side, you'd have you'd move into that more of that lead nurturing space. So, maybe if you're only offering that download for 72 hours, once people download it, you then know they're engaged in your business. There's the time to hit another email about something else, or if you're recording who that customer is and you've got that really good database like we mentioned before, that might be the time you actually get one of your salespeople to give them a call, or you're going to give them a call yourself just to see how they like the download, if there's anything else you can do or other things. So yeah, depending on, and that comes back to the business objective. Yeah.
Now that you've laid it out that way, I've realized that I've actually signed up to a couple of those things where it's sort of like get in now or save your space to find out more kind of thing. And then you do that, you get something little, and then in a few days I actually get a call or an email from someone going, hey, you got this, are you interested in doing X, Y, and Z? So yeah, no, it does work.
It does. And I think I hate to think how many calls I actually kind of ignore each day that are from those people, because they're kind of always downloading like whatever stuff I can for free anyway. And then it's just more information or something else. So it does work. It kind of begins that kind of lead conversion process. When you're at the top of the funnel, you're aware or showing kind of a level of interest, and then start moving down the rest of the pathway.
Definitely. Well, that's all the questions that we have for today. So I'm just going to wrap up. So just to recap today, so people's buying decisions continue to change and are often easily influenced by trends and how the world is moving forward. With the digital space growing, it is important that businesses keep an eye on these trends and work out what strategies are best for their businesses. So what we know is that flash sales are a staple in the online world, with more and more events being created to have them. For example, a newer one that I found out about last year is Singles Day, which is on the 11th of November because it's 1111. So lots of single ones in a row. The opportunity we have is with this buying behavior changing drastically in 2020 and continuing to do so in 2021, it means there's a lot of new customers up for grabs, and flash sales can assist in getting a first-time purchase from them. Our prediction is businesses who embrace email marketing and flash sales should see an eventual increase in their sales, especially if you make sure to review the results and data after each one and then make tweaks and changes. And so my recommendation here is be prepared to give it time. If flash sales and emails are new to the business, it may take a few tries before you start seeing the real results. So as James touched on, it might try a few different subject lines before you really start hitting the mark with all your customers. And so then therefore it's reviewing the data of what you can see from your prior emails and making those small changes over time. So Zealed has helped over 15,000 businesses transform digitally over the last 20 years. If you would like guidance on how to set up email marketing or even an idea around a potential digital strategy for your business, then please get in touch. We provide a free strategy or website audit sessions with our team of experienced digital business strategists. Also, Zealed is continuing to support the GEM initiative. So that is a free website setup and no success, no fee hosting for 12 months. If you are interested in finding out more about this, then please head to our website, zealed.com. Our next webinar, let me just get through. Our next webinar will help ensure you kick off 2021 right and then be able to focus on the larger strategies. Digital marketing housekeeping for 2021 covers getting the small stuff out of the way so you can focus on the bigger digital strategy for the year. I would like to say a very special thanks to James, our presenter today. Very much appreciate your valuable insights and tips that you have shared. And I'd also like to extend a big thank you to all that attended. If you know anyone that might benefit from attending these in the future, please feel free to share the link to register. We will be posting this webinar alongside all our other webinars in our webinar library. Head to zealed.com to check them out. For now though, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day and look forward to seeing you here on Wednesday, the 27th of February. See ya!